Now to what the New Yorker calls the great drone panic of 2024, with Americans on edge over those mysterious objects flying over the Northeast. Now, in his first public remarks on the subject, President Biden tried to tamp down concerns, saying the issue was nothing nefarious. That same message echoed by the Secretary of Homeland Security, who spoke with my colleague, Andrea Mitchell, last hour.
We know of no threat to people's security. And if we learn of any cause for concern, we will take action and we will communicate immediately with the American public.
Joining me now is FAA drone pilot and founder of Gargoyle Systems, Mark Fraietta. Thanks for joining us. Mike, we are hearing a whole lot of panic, the spread of conspiracy theories online. In that New Yorker piece, they write that it, quote, it looks like a sign of deeper social dysfunction. America is fearful, even paranoid. I mean, besides being told there's nothing nefarious here, what can be said about what we're seeing? What's causing it and what can quell concerns?
Sure. I think it's important to think of it as a friend or foe in the sky. There's a lot more friendly drones coming, so we got to get used to them being up there. In this case, I don't think there's much nefarious, but we need to think about the nefarious uses. We're seeing a lot of burglaries that people are using drones on the way in to case out the house and on the way out to look as a cover in the sky. We're seeing corporate espionage, tracking corporate executives, power supplies that could be by municipalities that are at threat. So I think it's very alarming for the American public to pay attention to this. But what we're seeing now, I think is a great wake-up call, but I don't see of anything nefarious happening right now with these drones, which 99% are airplanes that people are reporting that aren't actually drones.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point. The NYPD intelligence chief told our team that the number of drone reports skyrocketing, but the actual number of drones is consistent with what they've been seeing, right? And a lot of people are misidentifying what they see. So if people are looking, what should they look for?
Well, if there's an exhaust, that's one thing. I mean, there is this problem of skyception, if for lack of a better word. When you see the moon at the horizon versus you see it at the top of the sky, it looks like a different size. It's actually the same size the entire time. It's just that perception. So people are seeing airplanes and helicopters and reporting them as drones, and they're really not. Also, we have an increase of police drones now surveying. We have a lot of people like me who are saying, hey, let's go up there and take a look around. We've got a lot of the internet getting together and doing fun things to kind of mess with the public intentionally to kind of meme the sky a little bit. So it's hard to say. If you see a real drone right now, the ones that I've seen recently have all been either police drones or people's personal drones. I haven't seen anything that could potentially be nefarious anytime recently.
You know, a lot of members of Congress, particularly if they happen to live in New Jersey, will tell you they're getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of nervous constituents. And lawmakers, some have requested that same special drone hunting technology that was used on the battlefield in Ukraine. They want it brought over to help us, you know, provide more information or crack the drone mystery, as some people see it. I understand it's called the Robin radar system. What should we know about that, and could it help?
Sure. I don't know particularly about that system, but that's the idea. There's 4 ways to identify drones. Radar, which Robin is using. There's radio frequency, which shows you where the pilot is and where the drone is as well. There's acoustics, so the sound. That's a really important one, is distinguishing the sound. And optical. Radar is good. It's not great in urban environments, right? It mistakes it for birds. There could be going between buildings. So while radar is a good way of detecting of what we're seeing in open fields in war zones, it's not so great for urban environments. You need some redundancy, right? So we're going to need more than just radar for detecting. We're also going to need radio frequency units like the Gargoyles that we have, and do drone vulnerability risk assessments so that we understand where the threats are, make sure we're netting our power stations, protecting our physical assets, protecting our water supply. Because like we saw in New Jersey a few months ago, someone put, for fun, some green dye into someone else's pool just to kind of mess them. They used the drone to change the color of the water. Fun. But this is very alarming for the American public. We need to protect our skies and elevate our security as soon as possible.
But overall, is your message, no need to freak out?
Freak out overall in terms of they're coming, because we love these things, right? We love our Amazon packages. People are getting defibrillators in minutes. They're getting pills that they need. There's all these wonderful, great uses of drones. With that, it's going to become white noise. It's going to be in the sky. We better get used to it. But with that also comes a nefarious side. In this case, I think it's time to kind of take the tinfoil hat off for right now. But for long term, we really need to protect ourselves.